Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? So for today's video, basically, there's this viral picture going around, and it has to do with the HTC Aero and how when you turn it around, it pretty much closely resembles the iPhone 6. Now, when this picture came out, a lot of people were weighing in on opinions. Of course, there were some people who were trying to, put it across that that design was actually first done by the HTC One M7, and so really, like the title says, who copied who, and does it really matter? So, whatever I'm about to say, you guys can actually Google search it and find out for yourselves. That would be the whole idea of this video, is to encourage you guys that are curious to do a little bit of digging. So basically, the picture itself, you guys can find it on social media. It shows the HTC Aero, I believe that's what it's called, side by side with the iPhone 6 when you look at the back of it, and almost very identical. The only way you could tell the difference between the two is where the camera placement is, and the fact that the HTC Aero's camera is more circular. That would be like the only difference, because the HTC Aero's camera is dead center on the back, so kind of like where it is on my Aquos crystals, kind of like right here. Whereas on the iPhone 6, it's off, I believe, to the right. So the right or left, one of the two sides, basically. Now, of course, people were weighing in on it, and they're like, well, HTC is copying iPhone, and some people are a little dragged about it, like HTC is fumbling the ball, and they're going to be, out of business if they continue this venture. But when you really think about it, the HTC One M7 came out, the iPhone 5 is out. And the iPhone 5 did not look the way it does now, like with the iPhone 6. So, really, when it comes down to it, I mean, technically, the HTC One M7 had that design build. And of course, people are going to be with their own opinions on it. Some are going to be like, well, no, Apple had it first. And this is where it comes to the point where, does it really matter who came up with the design first, who put out that design first? And the reason why I say that is because while people are heavy to jump on manufacturers for Android about, well, you copied this from the iPhone and blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, the Android community will rebuttal back with Apple copied this from Android and BlackBerry and so on and so forth. It's really odd nowadays that people are still hell-bent on the whole copying thing. You really don't see that kind of negativity done with GooPhone. If you guys don't know what GooPhone is, it's a Chinese manufacturer company that purely is intent on mimicking the iPhone. I mean, they don't shy away from it as far as copying the box packaging to the actual hardware design. The only way you can tell the difference between a GooPhone and the iPhone is the simple fact that the GooPhone runs Android that is super heavy skinned to look like iOS. So when you actually pick up a GooPhone, you will not know that it's actually Android until you go into the system and you go to About Phone, and then you'll see Android OS of 5.0 or 4.4.4, whichever version the GooPhones are on right now. That would be like the only way to know that it's actually Android. But other than that, it's skinned far more than what MyUI looks like. Okay, so if anyone's familiar with the raw MyUI, or if you're familiar with the MyPhones, you'll know that MyUI doesn't have an app drawer. Even though it's basically Android, what MyUI had done was kind of merge the ideas with Android and iOS together. So you get the iOS feel with all your apps basically being on your homepage windows, and there is no app drawer to access to get applications. They're all on your windows. So that's pretty much on the iOS side of things. But then, like the multitasking and some of the other features that are obviously Android is presently there because it is Android. So GooPhone goes way beyond that when it comes to when they skin it. It really looks like iOS. I mean, even as far as from like the the slide up window from the bottom, which accesses your Wi-Fi, your music, and stuff like that, and then your notification drop down from the top, where all your notifications go. So basically, well, quick settings. Quick settings is at the bottom. Notification is at the top. So that is purely iOS right there. The idea behind it. So that's why I always say, like, what does it really matter? Like, who's copying who? I mean, just about every other company copies from another one. So with that in fact, I mean, does it really matter? Should there really be a war of words over social media over this thing? Really, it does not. And at the end of the day, you still can't mistake the HTC Aero for an iPhone 6. Not just because you could tell by the camera placement on the back, but also the operating system that it's running. No one is going to be confused. And I think that's where people point out, like, they're trying to steal iOS customers. Like, no. Someone who's hell-bent on getting an iPhone is going to get an iPhone, and they know where to get an iPhone. They're not stupid. Same way with someone that wants the HTC Aero is going to know where to get the HTC Aero, and they're not stupid to walk into an Apple store and buy an iPhone thinking it's the HTC Aero. So with that, I leave you guys to your own thoughts and opinions. And if you guys enjoyed this quick little rant, leave it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Check out my other videos. Share this one on your social networks, and follow me on my social networks. Links in the description. My name is Tito with the Law Android. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm signing out.
Let me out, I'm stuck in your pocket.